And then Cunningham gets into the face of DiJonai Carrington.
We have grown-ass men and women out here doing whatever they can to try to make sure that does not.
Jason Whitlock said it months ago, out loud, on the record and published. Carrington was going to seriously injure a player in the WNBA. He said it after she scraped her fingernail across Jessica Shepard's face against the Minnesota Lynx earlier this season. He argued that the league supports and panders to her style of play. He warned that if nobody stepped in, someone was going to get seriously hurt. The WNBA did nothing. And on August 8, 2026, DiJonai Carrington chased down Sophie Cunningham on a breakaway layup, wound up, and brought her entire left arm smashing down across Cunningham's face and neck area. Cunningham flew to the floor and could not break her fall.
Look, it was a hard foul. I don't think that DiJonai intentionally came out to get her across the neck like she did, but it did happen, and I thought it was the right call. But, you know, one of the things about Nay is that she's going to play her butt off, man. She's going to compete. Nobody's going to go walking in for a layup. And so I don't oppose the hard foul, but I also don't think that she intentionally went for the net.
And the entire basketball world, from Clark fans watching at home to LeBron James, the man who personally reached out to Clark when she was injured and told her she was fantastic, is looking at the WNBA and asking the exact same question. How many players have to get hit in the face before this league finally protects the Indiana Fever?
DiJonai Carrington last night almost took off Sophie Cunningham's head, gets ejected from the game, rightfully so, runs to the locker room, gets on Threads, and types out white privilege. Which is crazy, especially coming from a gal that's literally wearing a bleach blonde wig. Now, let's talk about black privilege for a second. Doing something completely wrong and unethical, and instead of taking responsibility, pulls out the race card and acts like a victim. Yeah, that's what we just witnessed here. The sheer lack of accountability on DiJonai's end, that was so intentional. Look at DiJonai staring at Sophie's head the whole time, and look at her reaction after. That's anger. A normal reaction would be to ask if Sophie was okay or immediately apologize. But instead, she shoves her. The audacity to go and cry wolf and pull out the fake victim card and scream white privilege. All the while making Sophie Cunningham bleed as a result to her actions. People are tired of everything being blamed on race. I wouldn't be surprised if DiJonai did this in response to Sophie Cunningham coming out vocally in response to protecting women in women's sports. This was not white privilege. Under DiJonai's definition of white privilege, here's some more white privilege. Getting ejected from the game was called consequences to actions, and DiJonai should be thankful that an ejection is all that happened, because she ought to be suspended from the entire league.
With the Sky up 18-17 late in the first quarter, Cunningham found herself on the break with a clear path to the rim. She made the layup, but Carrington hit Cunningham in the side of the head with her left arm on her way up. Cunningham went crashing hard to the floor and immediately popped back up to confront Carrington. The play was originally called a flagrant one, but was upgraded after review.
So a black girl clotheslines a white girl on the basketball court, was ejected from the game, and then immediately tweets out white privilege. The claim is so outlandish, I don't even know how to rebut it or what commentary to provide, because in what world does it make sense, right? Then you have Sports Illustrated with this headline after the game. Let me just remind you what Sophie Cunningham said. Actually, I'll just put it right here. This is what Sophie Cunningham said regarding protecting women's sports. That is it. Nothing more, nothing less. So I guess this is the price of standing for women and for girls. And what, we all just have to accept it as karma? No, this is assault far beyond what is normal on a basketball court. And who would be surprised if I told you that DiJonai Carrington, the woman who did that to Sophie, is the same woman who did this to Caitlin Clark. One more time, just in slow-mo. Oh yeah, that pesky white privilege. Final thoughts. The WNBA is a joke. Sophie Cunningham is an icon, and black people like DiJonai Carrington can, in fact, be racist.
Cunningham was ahead of the pack on a breakaway layup when Carrington chased her down and swiped her left arm across the face and neck area, causing Cunningham to land hard on her backside without being able to break her fall. Cunningham immediately jumped up and got in Carrington's face, even giving her a slight shove before being restrained by Michaela Timpson and security as a light scuffle began. Michaela Timpson was the first to try to de-escalate the situation, with Fever security rushing in as the Chicago Sky crowd cheered. A player had just been ejected for a flagrant 2 on a breakaway, yet the home crowd cheered her on as she made her way to the locker room.
Walk with me, take a walk with me, take a walk with me. There is craziness going on in the WNBA. DiJonai Carrington tweeted out white privilege from the locker room of a game that she was playing in. Get this, she fouled Sophie Cunningham hard. Sophie Cunningham, obviously a white person, fouled her hard. Flagrant 2, gets ejected, goes to the locker room and tweets out white privilege in the middle of the game. Now here's the kicker to me. A flagrant 2 has to be contact that can lead to an injury that looks excessive. DiJonai, it was about as excessive as possible. If there was any evidence of there being white privilege, this was not.
That is the environment the Indiana Fever walked into on August 8, 2026. And then, just 8 minutes after the foul, while Cunningham was still on the court, Carrington posted on her Threads account, "White privilege," and tagged the Fever. She later also posted about August 23rd on social media, which is the next date the two teams are scheduled to face each other.
Bro, that could kill her, right? And the WNBA, right? The people that run that league, if you're DiJonai here and you have a foul like that, I don't want to hear about, okay, that's a flagrant 2 and you get this sort of fine. She should be suspended for the rest of the season.
White privilege, and a date from a player who had just been ejected for a flagrant 2. Before Cunningham had even finished her free throws, LeBron James and Caitlin Clark already had a documented, genuine, and publicly established relationship. He posted the CC effect and "welcome back" when she returned from injury.
This isn't, as you said, Tommy, a whoops. This is intentional. This was targeting Sophie Cunningham, and I don't care if the player is white or black. It does not matter. When you do this to somebody, this is horrible for the league. Obviously, this was done because Sophie Cunningham stood up for women, saying that men shouldn't play against women in sports because there is obviously a chromosome advantage, just like you see with steroids, a chemical advantage.
He personally reached out during her injury last season and asked if there was anything he could do to help. He also shouted out her historic 45-point, 10-assist performance, the first 40-point, 10-assist game in WNBA history. Within minutes of the final buzzer, Clark called him her idol, said he was the GOAT, and described meeting him as a crazy moment. LeBron James has been in Clark's corner through every physical attack, every missed call, every double standard, and every piece of media bias that has come her way in 2026. He watched Thomas put a fist to Clark's throat. He watched Gray elbow Clark in the midsection twice. He watched Breanna Stewart slap Clark in the face with no call. He watched Kaya Stokes knee Clark in the quad on a play the officials missed entirely. And now, in the same week that Clark's teammate was being politically targeted for saying she wants to protect girls in sports, DiJonai Carrington brought her arm across that same teammate's face and neck on a breakaway layup, then posted "white privilege" just 8 minutes later.
I am so fucking sick of the Indiana Fever and Sophie Cunningham. I really, really mean it. And I really have been trying to just keep my mouth shut because the rabid-ass, racist-ass fan base makes it insufferable to actually talk about basketball with people, one, who know the game, who used to play the game, and understand sometimes things just happen in the game. DiJonai got ejected in the first quarter in the Chicago Sky versus Indiana Fever. Sophie Cunningham went up for a layup. DiJonai went to block it, right? Flying in the air. When she went to smack, she missed the ball, hit Sophie's head. I have not played basketball since junior high. That happened to me before. But where I'm at now with it is, one, everything Sophie Cunningham does in the game is for social media. Everything she does in that game is for social media's response, no matter what. Why? Because she's a mid-ass player in the fucking league. And yes, I am a person who has not played basketball since junior high, but I can say she is a mid player in the league. Look at her stats, who understands that where her opportunity is being a social media meme, clip, soundbite. And she will do that by any means, because at this point, that's making her off-court money. What irritates me is, one, DiJonai getting the flagrant 2. I don't think that it should have been a flagrant 2 because the intent to hurt, I don't think that there was an intent to hurt. When you go up to block the ball, especially in a layup, sometimes that shit happens. However, what I'm going to talk about is the aftermath. Sophie getting up and getting in DiJonai's face, and you physically see DiJonai say, "Stop, stop, stop." With the public, the people who support Sophie Cunningham and the Fever, resulting in such blatant racism and such social media attacks on any team, any player that is opposing the Fever, Sophie, Caitlin Clark, and especially being black, it results in such racism. Not only now are the players like, hey, I know if I'm going up against the Fever and especially Sophie, Caitlin, I will take Lexi Hull out of this. Last season, we was getting close, Lexi. We was getting really close. I'll take her out of this equation now. But especially those two, the black players understand that if anything happens, even though it may be things that happen during the game, shit that is so normal to happen during the game, they know that they have racist attacks waiting on them online. Or hell, even in...
LeBron James knows exactly what white privilege means in that context. He understands what it means when a player gets ejected for a flagrant 2 against a Fever player and then immediately turns the situation into a racial issue on social media. He knows what it means when the crowd cheers an ejection. And he knows what it means when the WNBA was warned months earlier that this exact player could seriously injure someone, yet the league did nothing to prevent it.
Cunningham was brutally fouled in the face during today's game, and the offending player, DiJonai Carrington, was ejected after officials ruled her hit a flagrant 2. But after the ejection, Carrington posted, quote, "white privilege" on social media and tagged the Indiana Fever. The on-court drama follows weeks of backlash and protests against Cunningham for speaking out against including transgender athletes in the WNBA.
Jason Whitlock called out Carrington's brash style of play and warned that she could seriously injure someone if the league failed to step in. He said, Carrington is going to seriously injure a player in the WNBA after she once again used her fingernail to scrape across the face of an opposing player. He argued that the WNBA supports and panders to what he described as Carrington's form of bigotry. Those comments came months before August 8th, after Carrington scraped Jessica Shepard's face and before the incident involving Cunningham.
DiJonai Carrington is such an unserious person, because what do you mean you commit a flagrant 2 and then you go to Threads and play the victim?
Now trying to prevent the layup, but that is just a hard hit. That's definitely going to be upgraded, I think, to a flagrant 2, Ryan.
I think that is going to be a flagrant 2. There is wind up, there is follow through, there's potential for injury.
Like, that was such a clear flagrant 2. Like, clearly she almost took Sophie's head off, and I don't even like Sophie, and she got me on this internet defending Sophie. Like, but that was a clear flagrant 2. Like, there is no question about it. So the fact that she went to Threads, and anybody called this, like, everybody knew she was about to go to Threads as soon as she got ejected from the game. And then the fact that she tagged the Indiana Fever, what does the Fever got to do with it? The refs are who threw you out the game. It has nothing to do with the Fever. And to say white privilege, like, I'm just so confused. You are the one who fouled her. Like, what is not clicking? And it was 100% done on purpose. And I can only assume it's because of all of Sophie Cunningham's comments that she's been making to the media in the last couple of weeks about biological men and women's sports and all that. And like I said, I don't even like Sophie Cunningham. But girl, that was definitely a flagrant 2. At this point, I just have to assume that DiJonai loves attention and clout, because you clearly wanted attention when you committed that flagrant 2, and you wanted attention when you went to Threads. I mean, this is the same person who outed her relationship drama on Threads, so...
The warning was published. The WNBA read it, yet did nothing meaningful. Then Carrington wound up and brought her arm across Cunningham's face on a breakaway. Whitlock was right. The league had the warning, and they ignored it. Carrington also faced Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever in the first round of the postseason during last year's playoffs. As the team's best perimeter defender, she was primarily tasked with matching up against the star rookie. Early in Game 1, Carrington landed a blow to Clark's face that left her sidelined for a brief portion of the game. Clark's face in the 2024 playoffs. Same player, same pattern, same result. The league still had not done enough to change the behavior.